Language shapes reality in ways most people never imagine. Recent neuroscience shows that the words we use literally rewire our brains and determine what we can and cannot perceive.
That's quite a bold statement. What exactly do you mean by language shaping reality?
Well, there's this fascinating concept in psychology called the Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis that suggests the language we speak doesn't just describe our reality, it actively creates and shapes it. For instance, studies have shown that indigenous tribes without words for certain colors actually have difficulty perceiving those colors.
Hold on. Are you saying their brains physically can't process colors they don't have words for?
Exactly. And it goes even deeper. Our brains are essentially running on a linguistic operating system. When you hear the word fire, your brain immediately triggers a cascade of physiological responses: increased heart rate, dilated pupils, heightened awareness. That's not just communication, that's a neural command being executed.
So you're suggesting our brains are basically running on some kind of programming language?
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. Research in neuroplasticity shows that repeated exposure to certain words and phrases actually creates new neural pathways. It's like installing new software in your brain.
That reminds me of some research I read about children's brain development. The number of words they hear in early childhood literally shapes their cognitive architecture, right?
Yes. Studies show that children who hear more diverse vocabulary before age 3 develop up to 30% more neural connections. But here's the wild part. None of us chose our initial programming, our names, our gender concepts, our core beliefs. They were all installed through language before we could even question them.
Well, that's actually kind of terrifying when you think about it. Are we all just living in these language prisons?
Try this experiment. Attempt to imagine a color that doesn't exist. Not a combination of colors you know, but a completely new color. You can't, right? That's because we literally cannot think outside the boundaries of our language.
But if language shapes reality this fundamentally, couldn't we potentially reshape our reality by changing our language patterns?
That's exactly where neuro-linguistic programming comes in. Research shows that consistent changes in language patterns can alter everything from pain perception to immune system function. When you change your linguistic patterns, you're literally rewriting your neural code.
How does someone actually put this into practice?
Well, studies in cognitive behavioral therapy show that even small changes in language patterns can create measurable changes in brain activity within weeks. For example, replacing "I'm anxious" with "I'm experiencing anxiety" has been shown to reduce amygdala activation by up to 40%.
That's fascinating. It's like we're all walking around with these reality creation tools, and most of us don't even realize it.
Exactly. And marketers have been using this knowledge for decades. Think about how brands create reality through language. The phrase "just do it" isn't just a slogan, it's a reality shaping command that Nike has used to literally reprogram how millions of people think about exercise and achievement.
You know, this makes me think about how political language shapes public perception, like how changing certain terms can completely alter how people think about issues.
That's right. Research from cognitive linguistics shows that changing just one word in how we describe a problem can shift public opinion by up to 20%. It's why George Orwell was so focused on language in 1984. He understood that controlling language means controlling thought itself.
So what's the takeaway here? How do we use this knowledge responsibly?
The key is awareness. Studies show that people who actively monitor their internal dialogue can make significant changes to their perception and behavior within 21 days. It's about becoming conscious of the programming and then carefully choosing the language that creates the reality you want to experience.
This has been absolutely mind-bending. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Remember that your words aren't just describing your reality, they're actively creating it. Recent research suggests we have around 60,000 thoughts per day, and 80% of them are shaped by our linguistic patterns. Choose those patterns wisely because they're literally building your world, one word at a time.